Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is where you are. Today we're doing a video. Gonna be bleaching my hair. Gonna be talking a little bit of shh. Yeah, so, God, I feel like I say this in every video, but we're still in a stay-at-home order. And I wanna show you a couple things that's wrong with my hair. P.S. Don't mind it, it's really greasy. I was not washing it and I was trying to wait for it to get greasy so that bleaching it would be a good thing. The problem that I have with my hair right now is that my actual hair, if you can tell, like right here, it's quite darker than my extensions. Do you see it now? It's quite darker, and I really want it to be like dark, light, super bright at the bottom. Also, these extensions are insanely grown out. They need to come out anyways. So like I can really tell where my hair ends, which is in about this area. And I just want to lighten those ends up so that they match like a lot better with the extensions, and then I want to do like a full tone of my hair. I need to get the extensions out first. My secret to taking out hair extensions is no fancy mix or whatever you call it. I actually use Baby Bum hand sanitizer, and I just spray it on the extension. Then I put my finger like in between the sandwich and I try to open it up a bit. Once it opens, I might spray a little bit more. And then the back one usually needs a little bit more spray. I saw one of my favorite podcasts, it's called Approachable. They did a podcast and it was called How All of My Breakups Went Down, or How All of Our Breakups Went Down. So they just like went through their breakups and they talked about them. I just like really enjoyed it because it's just like, you know, someone I really look up to. It was really inspiring. It kind of like made me feel, I don't know, not crazy, and like we all sort of go through these things, and you know, people that I look up to have been through these things. And it also was really helpful. I think just there's a lot of like great advice in it. Okay, so I've taken out 3 sandwiches. Now I'm gonna let some more hair down. So I think the first relationship worth noting is one that I can actually tell you who it was with. And that was with Michael, who I'm currently dating. We were really young when we started dating. That was like my first real relationship. I mean, I think I had, you know, weirdly like had first kisses and stuff like that, but like this was my first real one that I even think is worth noting. We actually met because I moved onto his street. If you want to know that full story, I've done a full video dedicated to that, but I wanted to talk more about like the breakups and more so the negative aspects. The reason that Michael and I broke up was I went to college and I kind of was like making new friends, and I think Michael and I had sort of really become just friends at that point, and it didn't really seem like, you know, a relationship anymore. It just seemed like we were best friends. Originally, I had broken up with him, and the hard thing was I remember that I tried to get back together with him. He was just sort of like, nah. You know, he ended up going to college. I mean, he did a gap year, but like he ended up going off to college and then university, and like he ended up doing his own thing. I genuinely think that that was so good for us. I think that if we had been together all these years, like, I just think it would have failed. We both grew up and did so much growing up, and I think that was like a really good thing. Okay, this is the last extension. And I'm just noticing that like the extensions we put in before, they're like a mix. They're like a light and a kind of like dark, and I kind of just wished it was all light. I just really want my hair, yes, to be balayaged, but also, you know, a little bit of ombre, because I really want the ends to be bright. Okay, so that's all of my extensions out of my head. Looks way better because, yeah, those extensions I just don't feel like match. But can you really see like just how dark it is in here? And this is not what I want. Like, if anything, my hair is more light here, and I just want to freshen this up and brighten it up. So this is a sandwich, and you can tell that there's one that's a little darker, one that's a little lighter. I picked up some bleach. It's been so freaking long since I've bleached my hair myself. Anyways, I got the Joico Blonde Life. I have a mixing bowl and a brush, and I have some Developer 30 volume. Am I gonna have to read directions? 1 scoop with 2 fluid ounces of 1020. My hairdresser's probably watching this being like, sorry Haley, love you. Like, if this gets me on the Brad Mondo YouTube channel, I'm gonna cry. I haven't been on yet. So for each section, I'm just going to tease up a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna try to work as quickly as I can. I don't even know if I'll be able to freaking talk during this. The next boyfriend, after I graduated college, I actually was working in a photo studio in North York. I actually started talking to someone online. So yes, I had an online. It was one of them. And he lived in Florida. And I did start dating this guy, and I had gone to see him quite a few times, like flown out, hung out with his friends. I still have friends to this day that I met through those trips and seeing him and stuff. I don't even know why it didn't work out, truly. I think it just ended. I think his parents weren't down for it or something. It was super weird. Was kind of sad, but like not really sad. But I feel like that lasted like quite a while, like if not a couple of years. No, it can't have been a couple of years. It had to be like a year. But like enough that I would mention it, you know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure he broke up with me. I remember that he broke up with me and I was like in the parking lot of my gym. Honestly, like we only talked for that long because I think the internet, like probably if there was like more of an in-person thing, it probably would have ended a lot sooner. But I think I did fly out like twice to Florida, maybe 3 times. I feel like my big relationship after that is one worth talking about. It was quite a horrible experience in my life, but I will say it definitely like made me who I am today. And you know, I don't take bullshit from any men. I really value my worth now that I've been through such a horrendous relationship. So I started dating this guy. I ended up somehow finding out that he was dating 2 girls at once, okay? You know what I think it was? I think he was tagged in a photo. That's what it was. It was like a new tattoo he had just gotten, and some girl had posted it and said, "My babe's new tattoo," or some dumb fucking Instagram post, I don't know. And I was like, what the hell is this? And I lurked her, and it turns out like there was a bajillion posts of like him sleeping over at her house, and like we were dating at this point. Like we were, you know, in a relationship, like together, we were committed to the cause. At this point, I hadn't been, you know, ruined by men yet. And I was just like, screw this guy. This is insane. I think I sent like pictures, screenshots of it to him, and I was like, we're done. You can pick your shit up from my front lawn whenever you freaking want to, kind of thing. I was just mortified, beyond mortified. And I couldn't believe that that happened to me. Like it seemed like something that happens in the movies. And I guess because I hadn't been cheated on before, I was really like just shocked, you know? Guys, I have a really bad memory, so I really shouldn't be doing like storytime videos and stuff, but here we are. I was at a show. I went to see a couple bands. I'd gone with Michael, funny enough. And we were there together, but then he had hockey. We drove separately, and he was just gonna leave a little bit before the last band ended, and I was like, that's fine. He had left, and it was like, I don't know, maybe the last song, and I was like, oh, I really want to get some merch, so I'm gonna just go downstairs like a little earlier. So I do. As I'm coming down the stairs, this guy, the same guy, is standing on the like platforms, and we make eye contact, and I'm just like, okay, screw that, I'm going. So I get in my car, and I get a text, and it's from him, and he's like, please let me, like, can I talk to you? And at this point, I don't know, I think it had been probably 6 months, like, had not spoken to this guy. He's like, hey, like, I just really like to apologize and like for what I did and whatever. And I was like, you know what? Let's let this man say some shit. But it was more like, I want to say some shit. You know what I mean? I'm parked downtown Toronto, outside this venue. He's standing in the street. All I do is unroll my window. I don't get out of my car. I unroll my window and you know, he, you know, says, I'm sorry, well, no, he said, do you have anything to say? I said, I do. But if I say it, I don't want it to be interrupted. I want you to just listen. I don't want you to say nothing. I'm just gonna say my piece. And I reamed him out. I said, that is the type of shit you see in a movie. That is that doesn't happen in real life. It's not supposed to happen. Like, how dare you? Like, I was, you know, I said my piece and I really said how I felt. We got talking, like we seriously got talking, and I can't say why I let it go on because I don't know. I'm not that person anymore, and I truly would have not let it go on. But young Tasha did, and so it's hard for me to say what was going through her head because I don't really know, truthfully. The thing with people like this guy is they're good talkers. They know what to say to make you feel like they really care, but it's all talk. So as you can probably assume, this guy really talked me into forgiving him. Guys, it was, you know, the year for me that I did the most growth on YouTube. I think like I had gained a crazy amount of subscribers in a year, like 100,000. And I was the most miserable person in the world, but everyone just saw me as like happy girl. You know, he would have these fake email addresses that he would use to communicate with his ex-girlfriend, and he would have like fake Tinder accounts. Like, and I mean fake because these girls wouldn't even know his real name. He once, while living with me at my parents' house, he went on a date, like I think it was day before Valentine's Day or something, with this girl, and I found out because he had her in his phone as one of his friends' names, and I just forgave this guy over and over again, and he played the victim in the end to like a lot of our mutual friends, which is quite crazy for me to comprehend. She was the worst human being I've ever met in my entire life, and just one of those people that I don't care what would ever happen to, you know? There's so many things that I look back now on that I struggle to understand why I stayed, and it was just a fear, I think, of being alone. And you know, there's even times where I left and invited him back, like times where I tried to leave and then was just too weak, truly was just too weak, and just felt like I needed him. And I don't know, it's a hard thing to comprehend as someone who now is so strong on their own, you know? The final straw with that relationship and how we broke up, which is the whole point of this video, is I had a friend visiting and we were supposed to go on a big trip, and he was supposed to watch Oaks. Then he ended up having some friends visit, and you know, originally he said to me that it was all going to be fine and he was going to come back and take care of him and let him out, and he ended up just not following through with that. It was actually Oaks, and this is how I know, like, honestly, truly animals save us, is because I finally walked away over Oaks, over him not putting in the level of parenting to a dog. I told him to pack his shit, get his shit out of my house, which I paid rent for. I was heartbroken. I was, like, I truly was heartbroken. It was a really tough time. Again, it's hard for me to understand why it was so hard, because I can't imagine staying in a relationship like that, and I did. I had my best friend, Michael, come watch the dogs that weekend. I mean, any more questions you have on the topic, you can definitely let me know down below. I feel like I could have made a whole video about the one relationship, but it just really set me up to be okay on my own. But also it set me up to like really question new men, and so I'm gonna wash this out. Hopefully all is good. I'll be right back. Hello, hello. Washed my hair out. I have toner, we're gonna tone it. So moving on was a relationship that I had obviously after I had been through what I had been through. And it's not that I was scared of dating, I definitely wasn't. I was just apprehensive of how to trust someone. I ended up going on a date with, let's call him, should we just stick with like the bro names? Should I go with Brad? Let's call him Brad. And it was like a really good first date, and lo and behold, we did end up dating. The story is not what this is about. We're going to be using Matrix So Color Sync. It looks like this. This is medium blonde pearl. So it's really gonna help tone this out. And I'm just gonna be mixing 1:1 ratio into my bowl. Toner is gonna be a fast one, so I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to do a lot of relationship talking, but regardless, I was fearful to begin, and I just think that that's a tough way to go into a relationship, being fearful, because it was almost like, well, if he were to make a mistake because of what I've been through, like I can't go through that again, sort of thing. For those of you that don't know, in that relationship I ended up getting engaged, and you know, a lot of people had questions about like why that didn't work out, and it was just because like in the end, you know, something did happen where you know, there was something that happened that I felt uncomfortable with. A friend of his, like, just sending like what I believe to be inappropriate pictures, like I don't know, like showing workout photos, but like she's in like her bra and stuff like that, and like just something I felt really uncomfortable about. And I mean, they had a lot in common. She lived far away, but it was, when that all went down, my trust went from like, I fully trust you to I don't trust you at all. My body shut down. It was just like, well, no, run. And you know, we had like our engagement photos booked, and we were supposed to go on this big trip, and I had like booked the photographer and stuff in Joshua Tree, and then I couldn't do it. I couldn't go through with it. Something in my body was saying no. And I did feel bad. Like, I don't know, he felt bad as well. It's like, you know, it's not like he said anything or was sending any pictures or anything like that, but it was the fact that like I felt didn't respect me enough to say, hey, not cool. And I know, like in my relationship now, that would be what happens, and that's just what I expect of anyone who is dating me, that sort of thing. And that's why the engagement there like didn't work. And so we're gonna just throw on this toner. This is gonna be a quick thing because I'm gonna have to run upstairs afterwards, and I'm gonna apply it from my ends up, and I'm applying it on damp hair. You know, I think we all will end up where we're supposed to. You know, that's my hope anyways. And you know, I'm a much stronger, better person, and I don't think I would ever end up in a relationship with someone who doesn't respect me. And that's important. Like, it truly is. At the end of the day, I don't need to know where Michael is at all hours of the day. I don't need to know who he's talking to. I don't need to know who he's texting. There still is a little bit of that in me. That's a hard struggle that I have to leave behind, you know? My camera died, and I was in the middle of putting toner on my hair. I had toner all over my hands. I could not do the battery replacement, and I had to run upstairs and wash it out. But regardless, I got it all on. Looking nice. So here's what we got going on. I am going to take some of this. This is the Olaplex No. 7 bonding oil. It's Olaplex, but do I think that makes it amazing? No, I don't. I just think it's a nice oil for your hair. Like, the Olaplex thing aside. Hi all, it's the next day because I was just so tired and went to bed and blah, blah, blah. But this is my hair dry. Ready? hope you can tell the difference. I can tell the difference. It's more like an actual ombre now, like really light at the bottom, and I'll try to like put a before after type thing if I can do that. I did watch some of the footage back and I was able to like say like, oh, you couldn't really tell that the extensions weren't the same color, but like if you're anything like me and you're just a perfectionist, it was very obvious that they weren't matching. So I do have my extensions here and you can tell. I'd say they might be like a little bit brighter than my hair. But honestly, like once they're in there, you're really not gonna be able to tell because it's gonna be so mixed in. I'm just giving my extensions a quick straighten. You know what's so funny is like I was filming this video yesterday. What was his name? Brad? Like, I would say, yeah, like I don't hate him or anything like that. But then one of my really good friends, Eb, she messaged me and she's like, look at this. And he super liked her on Tinder and I was just like, maybe I don't like you. I don't know, who does that? Guess I did dodge a bullet, you know? All right, so the extension process, I'm not really gonna give you guys like a full in-depth thing because I have done this a million times on my channel. I have tutorials, quite a few. I truly feel like I had the worst and I also had mediocre. And then when you find the best, it's like, it's life-altering. It really is. I feel like it's easy to get really roped into horrible, horrible relationships and think that there's nothing better. And like, if you're ever feeling that way, just know that you're wrong. There is always something better than being cheated on. There's always something better than being blatantly disrespected. And you know what? It's better than being cheated on and disrespected? Being single. Let me tell you that. It's hard. It's hard when you're in it. Sometimes you don't see it for what it really is until you've left. But what a waste of your precious life, you know, to be with someone like that. Ugh. When a relationship is right, when a relationship is healthy, all of those red flags that you have that right now maybe you're questioning, like, is that okay for him to do? Is he trying to hurt me? Like, you won't question anything. You won't ever feel the need to, you know, snoop. You won't ever feel the need to question yourself and your self-worth. And, you know, I'm speaking from a new relationship. I'm not speaking from a married for 30 years perspective. But if you're questioning it, it's probably, from my experience, not the one. I'm really proud of myself for not following through with that engagement because that's the same person that, like I just said, like just super liked one of my friends on Tinder. It's like that was someone that I was gonna spend the rest of my life with. Like, you know, just when I say dodged a bullet, yeah, dodged a bullet. And it makes me think of that Marriage or Mortgage show. Whenever they choose marriage, I'm just like, are you crazy? Like, you know, you really can tell a lot from living with someone. I don't know, I just feel like live with someone, then you'll know if it's worth spending $35,000 to marry them, you know what I mean? You guys, I miss living in the country and just letting my dogs bark and not caring. So here, I don't want it to lay on my ear. That's a super annoying feeling with extensions. So we place it behind the ear. I just know where to place my extensions because I've been using them for so long that I just know what feels good in my head. Then we take our extension, put it under, and then we take our other sandwich and we just stick this on top of it. Let's let our hair down, brush it out. Okay guys, this is my final hair. Here's a quick little before after. Much brighter and just more of like an actual like ombre thing. Well, you know, there's still a little bit of the balayage in there. I'm just happier. It just feels brighter, more like sort of how I wanted it to look, and I'm very happy with it. So that was me bleaching my hair, and you know what? The best thing I ever learned to do was how to do my own hair extensions, because I used to pay $150 to have them removed and put back in, and it's been such a money saver to just learn and be comfortable doing them myself. Thanks for watching, guys. It was kind of nice to do a little chatty video because I feel like I don't do very many of those on my channel, but I really enjoyed it. And I don't know, start a conversation down below in the comments if you have anything to say, anything to ask, any of that. I'd love to talk to you guys. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, love ya.